And if Dexter Fowler gets a hit to start the game, Benny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. A large crowd has gathered. Some apparel stores in the Lodo area. And the Rockies team store also made an extra $25 on a blanket.
Yes, they did.
It's a little colder than a lot of people thought, including the visiting TV broadcasters.
They almost moved the purple ski cap, too.
Rookie left-hander Tyler Anderson getting set to work. And let's check in on the Cubs Southwest starting lineup that will face him. They have won their last 4 in a row. That was a sweep over the Milwaukee Brewers. Fowler, the ex-Rocky, you see his career numbers here. Bryant, Rizzo, Soler is in right for Jason Hayward. More on that situation a little later. Russell at short. Matt Caesar getting another start. He's in left. Wilson Contreras, the catcher. Javier Baez at second, batting 8th. And the pitcher, Kyle Hendricks, batting 9th.
And now we'll check the Rockies defensively, brought to you by Arby's. A late switch, Charlie Blackmon a scratch. So David Dahl will move over. The rookie will play center field. Gerardo Parra was going to make the start at first base. Would have been the first time he'd ever played that position, but he moves out to left. Carr goes in right. Arenado, the Gold Glover, at third. Descalso, LeMahieu, Paulson round out the infield. Nick Hundley behind the plate, and Alexis pursuing perfection. Starting pitcher for the Colorado Rockies is the 26-year-old rookie left-hander Tyler Anderson. 4 up, 4 down, 3.42 the ERA. He is making his 13th major league start, and he's been good. 71 innings, 69 hits.
Let's go back to the last time the Cubs were here in Denver. Xfinity high-speed action. A former Rocky off a former Cub. A dramatic 2-out, 2-run homer that won the game. Fowler against LaTroy Hawkins. That was April 12th, 2015.
Yeah, you hear the crowd respond to the announcement of Fowler for 2 reasons. 1, popular when playing here, and 2, there's a lot of Cub fans at the ballpark.
So Anderson deals, and we're underway. A lot later than scheduled, but it's dry and it is cold.
Anderson got some funk, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. 2 hours and 10 minutes. The official rain delay. Driven deep and gone. Leadoff homer. Dexter Fowler.
Ah, good things come to those who wait. These Cub fans are rocking and rolling. First pitch of the ball game, Dexter Fowler unloads. Number 10 for Fowler.
Boy, that was right in the wheelhouse. Our Ford home run replay. Got a 2-0 pitch, and he drove it out. Number 10 on the year for Dexter, and it's 1-0. Here's Bryant. And Benny's and the Greater Chicago Food Depository happy about that home run. The 1-0 to Bryant is fouled away.
It's the 8th home run allowed by Anderson this year. All of them coming to right-handed batters. He's been tough on lefties. They hit just .211 against him with no home runs. Right-handed batters .276 with now 8. Funky at the start too, the way he sets his hands up by his left ear. There's a good changeup. So he'll max out at 94 with the fastball. Sit comfortably 91. Changeup's probably his best secondary pitch. Shows a little cutter, slider, kind of a hybrid slide ball, and also a curve.
Got him on the changeup. Get you the umpires for tonight. Chicago native John Tumpain is back at the plate. Ryan Blackney at first. Alan Porter at second. The crew chief is Jeff Kellogg at third. 53 degrees, and it feels a lot colder as we get started. Fowler with his 6th leadoff home run this season, so more than half his home runs have been to start the first inning. 20 times now in his career he's led off with a home run. Fastball right down the middle to Rizzo. 36 doubles, 2 yesterday for Rizzo. He leads the National League in that category, just a couple off the major league lead.
That's held by a Big Papi over there in Boston. There's a buzz in the ballpark here. Again, a lot of Cub fans, but I think folks have had a lot of time to hang out and
do other
enjoy
things.
themselves.
Yes. On the ground, deep at second is DJ LeMahieu, and he gets Rizzo. And it brings up Jorge Soler in the cleanup spot. Jason Hayward with his 2nd consecutive day off. He's going to get the whole weekend off. He may come in for defense late tomorrow or Sunday, but Joe wants to give him a break. A couple of left-handed starters against the Cubs this weekend. And I think it's just more of a mental break than anything else. And the Cubs have the luxury of being way up in the division.
Yeah,
34 over 500.
It's certainly understandable that Joe would decide to just kind of let Jason cool his heels a little bit and relax. But from his point of view, he might have been thinking, hey, I'm going to Coors Field. I got a chance to get some base hits and get on a little bit of a roll.
One and two.
Anderson, a first-round pick, number 20 overall, 2011, out of the University of Oregon.
Well, 3rd pitch of the game was hit in the seats. After that, he went 1, 2, 3, but he doesn't get a do-over as the former Rocky goes deep. Cubs 1, Rockies coming up. Starting lineup, they've faded here lately. 3rd in the West, 9.5 out. 6th in the wild card, 6.5 back. Dahl in center because Charlie Blackmon's got a bruise on his right big toe. The former Cub, DJ LeMahieu, red hot. Cargo has always done a lot of damage against the Cubs. Nolan Arenado had a big game at Wrigley earlier this year. Parra in left. Descalzo, the shortstop, with Trevor Story out. Nick Hundley, the catcher. Ben Paulson is over at first, and Tyler Anderson, the pitcher, batting 9th.
Cubs defensively brought to you by the good people at Arby's. Caesar, Fowler, Soler cover this big outfield here at Coors Field. Bryant, Russell, Baez, Rizzo on the infield. Wilson Contreras is the hind catcher for Kyle Hendricks.
Kyle's first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner.
Kyle is the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher here tonight for the Cubs. And 11-7 with a 2.19 ERA. That's the second best ERA in baseball, just behind Clayton Kershaw.
1-1 on the rookie Dahl. He's gotten his major league career off to a big start. Lots of news for the Cubs today. Some roster moves. John Lackey and Hector Rondon go to the disabled list. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Lackey has a right shoulder strain. Rondon has a right triceps strain. Neither injury appears to be very serious. Cubs selecting a couple of pitchers. Right-hander Felix Pena. Right-hander and a left-hander Rob Zastryzny from AAA Iowa. And I met Rob today and he said, "You can just call me Rob Z." Zastryzny.
Just call him a big leaguer now.
Yep.
Exciting time for those two young men who, when they do pitch, it will be their major league debuts.
Rob Z said he was supposed to start for Iowa yesterday. Got called into the manager's office. Another 2-2 and it's full, 3-2. He wasn't quite sure why. They asked him to look at the sheet, and next to his name it said MLB. It said,
well, that's cool.
Not too proud to admit it took me a while to figure out what in the world they were talking about. Fly ball well hit the other way, gone. Wow. Leadoff homer for the Rockies, and it's 1-1.
Here we go, arena baseball at Coors Field. The youngster Dahl, former first-round pick himself, getting his major league career off to a tremendous start. And he goes oppo against Kyle Hendricks. Well, we got a lot of home plate. And Ford home run replay. Ford's going to get their money's worth here tonight, I
think. And how about this? Dahl was in the lineup, but not in the leadoff spot. But filling in atop their order for a guy who has 7 homers over his last 7 games, Charlie Blackmon. So I guess if you fill in for Blackmon, you got to hit a home run.
Yeah, it's not the player. Clearly, it's just a spot in the batting order. They're all going to be in Walt Weiss's office tomorrow begging to be the leadoff man.
LeMahieu batting .399 here at Coors Field. That is the best home batting average in the majors. Earlier this week, he had a stretch of 8 consecutive hits and 10 consecutive reaches. The Rockies, it's not a big surprise, lead the National League in runs per game, 5.29. The Cubs at 5.10 right behind them. In the 24-year history of this franchise, including this year, I'm counting this year, how many times do you think the Rockies have led the National League in runs per game?
I would say just about every one of them.
8. So 1 out of every 3 years they lead the league in runs. They've been in the top 5 every year but 1 in their history as LeMahieu lines out to Fowler. They've never finished below 8. So it's just expected that you got to score a ton of runs.
Yeah, well, it's just the nature of baseball here in the light air, and then there's so much room in the outfield here. They tried to make an accommodation for the carry by making the ballpark very big, and what it has led to is just tremendously high batting averages. There's so much room for the outfielders to cover. The ball does really jump, so you got the home run factor plus just the ball in play batting average sky high in this yard.
Yeah, I have more on that later too. Pretty interesting. I think will illustrate the big difference between baseball here and everywhere else.
They should change the rules here. You should have 4 outfielders at Coors Field. That's an original idea I just had. The producer didn't whisper that in my ear or anything. I just made that up. Mark Brady, that's a very good point.
A strike. Gonzalez, in 38 career games against the Cubs, has batted .381 with 13 home runs. He's had 4 4-hit games and 1 5-hit game. He had a cycle against the Cubs that he completed with a home run. .3-1 pitch, fouled off. I asked Chris Bosio, how do you pitch here? And he said you cannot plant that seed in a pitcher's head that it is different here.
Yeah, well, it's already there. It's already in there. Everybody knows it. But Boz's point is, yeah, you don't have a meeting in advance of a start or in advance of a series and talk about.
Diving attempt, sees you can't get it. Cargo's got a standing double.
The most valuable thing in this ballpark from the pitcher's point of view is the swing and miss. So you're either a power guy, or in Hendricks' case, if he gets that changeup going, he can have a big strikeout game. And that was the case last time out against the Cardinals. He punched out 12 in 7 innings to tie his career high. He also had 12 earlier this year against Pittsburgh. Had the Cardinal hitters way out in front of his changeup time and time again. In his last start,
doesn't get any easier with Arenado digging in. Ball 1. Going into this season, the Rockies averaging in their history over 6 runs a game here and under 4 runs a game on the road. Batting average on balls in play, which speaks to what you talked about, how big this yard is, over 330, and it's under 300 during the time the Rockies have been around. So that's a 30-point advantage a batter gets when you put a ball in play here.
Yeah, and
that's significant.
Oh, it's huge. That's why it's so hard to evaluate Rocky players.
The 1-0 is low. April 17th, Rockies beat the Cubs 2-0 in the rubber game at the friendly confines, and he hit 2 solo home runs. Accounted for all the scoring. It pops it up. And Contreras makes a catch right in front of home plate. Watch Contreras. He holds the mask until very late. The reason for that is if you throw it too early, you might
step on it. Yeah. Especially when you play a lot of games at Wrigley Field with the wind blowing. I think the ball's going to be in one spot. By the time it comes down, it's somewhere else.
Parra was going to play first base tonight for the first time in his pro career. But then Blackman was scratched. Parra moved to left. That got Ben Paulson into the lineup.
It's ironic. Parra is with the Rockies. He's been a guy who's always hit the ball around the field. You would think he would really take advantage of this ballpark, but he's not having a very good year, hitting .259. He's not been afraid to swing the bat. He's hardly walked at all this year. He's never been a guy who's drawn a ton of walks. But walk rate below 2% this season. Kyle, over his last 11 appearances, 7-1 with a major league best 122 earned run average. You think it's just the opposite would happen coming to Colorado, but he's not been able to take advantage of it for whatever reason.
Swing and a miss on the changeup, and it's 2-2. Mike Montgomery will start tomorrow night. Remember, John Lackey originally was pushed back to Tuesday. And now he goes to the DL. Swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. Each team with a leadoff home run. It's 1-1 after one. Presented by State Farm. They did tweak the fences out in right center in front of the Rockies and part of the Cubs bullpen. The fences were raised 8 feet to 16 feet 6 inches, raised 5 feet in the left field corner as well. Addison Russell takes a strike.
Yeah, that one there is probably not going to make a real big impact, but keep a couple balls in the ballpark. Apparently, I think 18 have hit the fence out there in right center.
On the ground to the shortstop, Descalzo, and he gets Russell.
I think they should build a big wall like Fenway. Put a big monster out there in left field. That would be fun. People behind the wall wouldn't have a very good view of the game. You could put a big screen up there.
Well, I think the idea would be to put some seats atop that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You got a limited budget when you remodel, so you have to be careful. So I would put a big screen there and charge him like $2 to come sit behind the screen and watch the game. And
$2. That's
hopefully catch a home run.
Seems pretty fair. Not sure what the price is for the rock pile seats out in center here, but they were $1 at Mile High.
It's a big park. Why did they put 50 grand in here?
Well, they were originally going to make this ballpark much more intimate, but they averaged 57,000 per game at Mile High, and they said, you know what, we need a few more seats. 2-0 to Matt Caesar. The middle on a bounce. LeMahieu will make the play.
Cub fans, let's go. Tickets are still available for the Cubs' next homestand. The Reds and the Giants come to town. Don't miss any action during the stretch run. Visit Cubs.com to get your tickets today. 17 home games remain. 25 on the road, counting tonight.
The 93 and 94 combined at Mile High Stadium. The Rockies drew 70,000 plus 21 different times. Wilson Contreras, the catcher, and he takes a strike.
Anderson's dealt with a number of injuries in his young career. Missed all of last year. Stress fracture in his elbow, pitching elbow.
Chris Bryant vaguely recalls facing him when they were youngsters. He's a little older than Chris, but both from Las Vegas. And Caesar could not hold up, so he has been sharp after that leadoff homer by Fowler. CHN for the best Chicago baseball talk in town on another edition of Bases Loaded. It's a half hour of team-by-team features, interviews, analysis, and more. Watch Bases Loaded, hosted by Layla Rahimi, tomorrow night at 6:30 on CSN Chicago. That'll lead you right into Cubs baseball. Yeah, August 19th, and it is totally appropriate to bring out the winter cap tonight. Team with a leadoff homer. Big loss for the Rockies. Rookie sensation Trevor Story. 27 home runs. He is on the disabled list. A torn ligament in his left thumb. 27 homers in 97 games for Story. So they traded Tulowitzki to Toronto. Part of that deal brought Jose Reyes back here. He had all that off-field stuff, so he got suspended. And then Story emerged in spring training. They eventually released Reyes, who then hooked on with the Mets. And now kind of mixing and matching with Story out.
Christian Adames, Daniel Descalso. Descalso's a solid player, but nowhere near the run producer that Trevor Story was. Mark Reynolds also on the disabled list. He's having a pretty good year, playing a lot of first base. Tyler Chatwood made a real good start against the Cubs at Wrigley on the disabled list.
Yeah, he was supposed to start tomorrow, but instead it'll be a hard thrower named Jeff Hoffman who will make his major league debut. Rizzo will underhand to Hendricks at the bag.
On Wednesday, the 31st of August, Cubs take on the Pirates. First pitch 7:05, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive Cubs player decals or decals, depending on which side of the border you're on. Presented by Citgo. Tickets are still available for the game. Visit Cubs.com today.
Who says decals?
Decals, Descalzo.
Veteran catcher Nick Hundley, who's been on the DL twice this year with a concussion and an oblique issue.
Kind of like pecans and pecans.
Hey, we want to welcome all our viewers watching on CASCOM in Pittsfield, Illinois.
They say decals in Pittsfield.
They do, yes.
A couple of years ago, August 7th to be exact, 2014, Kyle Hendricks pitched to Dandy in this ballpark. 8 innings, a 5-hit ball, allowed a couple of runs, 1 earned. It's not an easy thing to do. Go deep into a game here, be that efficient. Because normally you're pitching away from contact.
That one, great one, the one you mentioned, and one that was not so good.
You could go through the game log of just about any National League pitcher in just about any year and try to identify their worst start. And I guarantee you at least half of the guys that's going to be in this ballpark.
Steven Strasburg earlier this week as Hundley walks. They give up 9 in an inning and 2/3.
Well, that's the other part of it too, especially if it's like the first game of a series. The manager's hesitant to make that early move to the bullpen because he knows the nature of the way the game is played here, that the bullpen's likely going to get a lot of work anyway. So a starting pitcher who gets knocked around early sometimes is asked to hang in there, and that's when it blows up and you end up giving up 8, 9, 10 earnings.
Ben Paulson playing first. Takes low for ball 1. Brought up from AAA a week ago. He was on their opening day roster. Optioned out in mid-May. Two balls, no strikes, and Contreras will head out to the mound. Had a nice chat with Mike Borzello about Contreras. Borzy is really happy with Wilson's progress. There's a nice Fangraphs piece today about his framing and blocking, and very favorable. Probably the biggest thing for Contreras moving forward, 2 things. Talking to Borzello, a swing and a miss, 2-1. So some numbers from that Fangraphs piece. August Fagerstrom wrote that today, and I tweeted it out. If you'd like to check it out. Swing and a miss, 2-2. 2 things for Wilson. One is learning how to catch specific pitchers' mistakes. That is, say, Kyle Hendricks' cut changeup. When he misses, where does it usually go? He got him. Nice comeback. Does that make sense? So like your curveball,
trying to steal strikes on a miss, or are you talking about blocking the ball that misses?
All of it.
You're probably not going to steal strikes on misses.
But
be ready to make a like you call an Arrieta cutter And even if he's trying to backdoor it, he might pull it.
Right.
So be ready to slide over and block that ball down and into a left-handed hitter.
Right. Yeah, and Borzi's experience, you have the intended target for a particular pitch, and then you have when a guy usually misses, where does he miss? And so that just comes through experience. The second thing is pacing. As Anderson pops it up, and we know Contreras, he has so much energy, just trying to slow things down, and it's gotten better as the year's gone along. 1-1 after 2. Back here in Denver, it's a 1-1 tie. And Javier Baez, who made his major league debut here a couple of seasons ago with a bang, game-winning homer in extras, will lead it off. Hendricks and Fowler to follow.
Javi's hit 3 home runs in this ballpark already. 14 career at-bats here, 3 long ones for Baez. Some stuff on him earlier today. He hit over 700 his senior year in high school. Hit 4 home runs in a game in single A in the Florida State League. Only the second player to do that.
Everything about this delivery is different. Even the way he holds his hands as he gets the sides.
Yeah. He's very left-handed is what he is. Pretty sharp kid.
Political science major in college.
Last year, while he was hurt, he sat in the Rockies dugout and he charted every single game. 162 ball games he kept a chart on. Couldn't pitch, but he wanted to pay attention and maybe learn some things. He was ejected from his last start against the Phillies. Hit Kyle Franco with a pitch. Larry Boa started screaming at him from the dugout, and apparently he started yelling back at Larry. And the home plate umpire thought he was yelling at him, and he threw the kid out of the game. He rattled off 6 or 7 quality starts prior to that one.
Golfed high in the air to left. Parra's got it.
The Cubs are proud to salute the men and women of the United States military. On Wednesday, August 31st, the Cubs have specially priced tickets in the terraced reserved outfield section, and each ticket includes a special Cubs military cap. For more information, visit Cubs.com/specialgroupnights.
Ground ball, base hit. Hendricks is on. And snaps a streak of 7 in a row, retired by Anderson after the leadoff homer. The guy who hit that home run is coming up.
Well, Anderson's gotten 3 strikeouts, 3 outs on the ground, 1 fly out, and then a solid single here by Hendricks.
Bounce to third. It's foul.
That's how the ball game started. Number 10 for Dexter Fowler. Is number 3 for him from the right side of the plate.
No. Oh, no, no. Stay away.
If we think real hard. There's a hallway behind us during the rain delay. It looked like an airport when all the flights have been canceled.
Right.
People are all laying all over the floor out there.
He got him.
So the cut fastball, 3/4 arm angle, works across his body and gets good run on that cutter and on the right-handed hitters.
Fouled away by Bryant. In a Las Vegas battle. First time he's played in this ballpark. He was brought up after the Cubs played here at Coors Field last April. 96 runs to lead the league. Tied with Arenado for the league lead in homers. No one had ever gone 5 for 5 with 2 homers in a game twice in a season before he did it. You see, 24 years or younger, 5th Cub to hit 30. Only he and Ernie got to 30 homers as a Cub in their first or second major league season. And left center for a base hit. Hendricks to second. And it'll get Rizzo to the plate.
Doesn't really square this one up. Gets in on him a little bit, and he just muscles it out there into shallow left field. This 17 out of 41 on the homestand, a .415 batting average, 4 doubles, a triple, 3 homers, scorching hot. Anthony not far behind with what he did on the homestand.
You mentioned Anderson, first round pick 2011. The 2008 draft was kind of interesting for the Twins. 0-1 inside. He was a 50th round pick of the Twins that year and didn't sign. The Twins that year took 3 high school players. None of those 3 signed, who would be first rounders in 2011. Anderson, Colton Wong, and George Springer. So they had a good eye for high school talent. Ground ball into center, base hit. Hendricks around third. Here comes a throw to the plate.
He didn't touch the plate. He needs to go back and touch the plate.
No call has been made?
No call has been made. And he's being very casual about it. Yes, sir. There you go.
Tumpane didn't make a call.
No, I can't believe nobody in the Rockies dugout picked up on it.
So it's 2-1 Cubs. I didn't know if Hundley tagged him or not. Tumpane didn't.
No, Kyle's last stride, I believe, was just a little short of home plate. Tumpane didn't signal anything. Nobody caught it on the Rockies side. You see? Boom,
he missed.
Boom, right over.
You're right.
And Tumpane does not make a call, and I'm really surprised that somebody in the Rocky dugout didn't. Maybe they don't see Kyle where his foot landed, but should have recognized that Tumpane didn't make a call.
Showing RBI single for Rizzo, his 87th knocked in.
I loved the way Kyle watched. He's just, I'm just kind of walking over to shake some hands. Oh, by the way.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
It's like the kid with the, hiding the cookies behind their back when mom comes into the kitchen. No, I don't have anything. Nothing going on here.
Look out. Well, that was a good catch, JD. Clearly did not touch the plate.
And just to be so cool-headed, because I think most guys would turn around and try to scramble back in a hurry and maybe tip off the fact that they hadn't touched the plate.
Yep. Three and two the count. Big kick in the pitch. He struck him out to end the inning. 3 singles, however, yielding another run for the Cubs. They lead 2-1. Timeless moment on this date, 1969. The lefty Ken Holtzman no-hitting the Braves. Ron Santo with a 3-run homer for future Hall of Famer Phil Niekro. Henry Aaron thought he had a home run in that game. Wynn knocked it down before it got to the bleachers in left. 1-0 on David Dahl. Between innings, John Tumpain went over and had a quick chat with Walt Weiss. He probably explained to him what happened on the Hendricks run. And technically, I think that run counted before Kyle actually touched the plate, because John Tumpain did hand a new baseball to Anderson as Dahl singles into center. Because, yeah, there's just a point where if the Rockies don't tag the runner, Kyle walks back into the dugout. You move on to the next play. So,
yeah, and there's that period where Tumpain backed away and he's kind of watching, waiting to see if the Rockies were going to try to make a play on him or not.
Still a good idea to make sure you touch the plate just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. He also might have been talking to Walt about the weather too. He's chatting with one of the grounds crew guys too. Tumpain was between innings.
So no call, no safe, no out, nothing. Anderson's upset.
See, Hundley's got the ball at that point, and then Anderson asks for another one. I guess the proper mechanic for an umpire would be to wait as long as possible to put a new ball into play.
Right.
Dahl has not tried to steal a base at the big league level this year. He stole a few down in the minor leagues. Dahl got injured in a horrific collision in the minor leagues last year, and ultimately decided to have his spleen removed last season to accelerate his return to action. Very dangerous situation. Apparently the doctors told him afterwards that sometimes people have their spleen lacerated, as he did. They will bleed out on the way to the hospital.
A pretty incredible recovery. He started his career by tying a modern-day major league record. He hit in each of his first 17 major league games.
Tied a fellow by the name of Chuck Aleno, Cincinnati, 1941.
It's going to be a catch and a very quick double play as Dahl was on the move. LeMahieu lines to Baez. It'll be a 4 unassisted.
LeMahieu, a great guy to play hit and run with. This time the backfires on the Rockies. The ball lined to Baez, and pretty easy from there.
Gonzalez with 2 outs. Just thinking about Tumpain waiting to hand the new ball to Hundley. Going, come on, John, give me a new ball. Well, I can't yet.
I can't tell you why.
I can't tell you why, but we can play charades. Well, Kyle's got his 2 runs. See if he can hold them the rest of the night. Three and 0. You can never have enough runs in this ballpark. Three and 1.
Gonzalez stands way off of home plate.
Rizzo to Hendricks, and the inning is over. Leadoff single quickly erased on the double play. It's 2-1 Cubs after 3.
Zone located on the corner of Addison and Sheffield is your game day headquarters. Open hours before the game, the DraftKings Fantasy Sports Zone has a large outdoor space, features live music, and the fully stocked signature Captain Morgan Bar. Come out and enjoy this unique experience, plus fans with tickets have direct access to Wrigley Field. For more information, visit DraftKingsWrigley.com.
Pitching coach and pitcher having a conversation.
Here comes the rain again.
Change up, swing and a miss.
He's got some weapons. That cutter and the changeup, very good complementary pitches. One will speed you up, one will slow you down.
One last thing about that bizarre play at the plate. We had Joe talking with Tom Payne before this inning started. I think the Rockies could have appealed after that play was over if Hendricks had not made an attempt to go back to home plate, which he did. 100%. I'm not sure about that, but I think they could have. There's a change. Really good one. 6 strikeouts here early. Caesar the batter. 2 hits yesterday from the leadoff spot, scored twice. Oh, a little quick pitch. Different wrinkle. 2-0. That could be a nice weapon for a guy with all that movement, with that double leg kick. About the last couple of days Tyler Naquin has had for the Indians.
I know he was heroic tonight.
Was it a game-ending inside the park home run tonight? You see what Tito did yesterday?
I did not.
So it was a 1-0 count With Roberto Perez at the plate, called strike 3. Pass ball got the runner to third. This was against the White Sox. And during the at bat, he pinch hit Naquin, who then hit a sac fly to win the game.
That's rather Casey Stengel-ish.
Ground ball to the shortstop, Descalzo. Midway in the fourth, after a 2-hour-plus rain delay, Cubs 2, Rockies 1. With Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Remember, FDIC. Arenado, Parra, and Descalzo. Drive center. Fowler for out number 1.
Switch swinging there, Arenado, something he used to do a whole bunch. He's back off of that considerably this year. He's become a much more patient hitter. He doubled his walk rate, cutting down on his strikeouts. But probably not a bad strategy to attack Kyle Hendricks' first pitch. He throws strike 1 a high percentage of the time.
Outside, ball 1. Yeah, 48 degrees here on August 19th.
And yesterday with the humidity, the feels like at Wrigley had to be in the 90s.
It was like an oven in the booth. Wind blowing out. One pitch. A topper to Rizzo's been busy. Descalzo. Whose former team, the Cardinals, beat the Phillies 4-3 and 11 tonight. in Philadelphia. Dramatic game tying 2-run homer by Jed Jerko in the 9th. Got that game to extras. So the scoring plays in that game: Galvis with an RBI double, Grichuk with a homer, Herrera homered, but we'll forget that one. Galvis homered, Jerko homered, Grichuk doubled. If your last name started with G, you had a big hit in that game. Bryant makes a catch, and the Rockies go quietly in the 4th inning. Cubs lead 2-1. By T-Mobile. Let's go to Cleveland.
Drive, deep right field. Saunders back at the wall. Can't make the play. Naquin off to the races. He'll go all the way to third. Sarva waving him around. Unbelievable.
Looked like Melvin Upton Jr. fell down. That allowed Naquin to score on an inside the park home run. Wow.
Chisenhall running around with a cake plate or something.
Great call by Matt Underwood. Dig the socks, too. Naquin had working.
Cleveland, 6 games better than Detroit in the AL Central, coming into play tonight. Well, make it 7. Tigers got thumped by the Red Sox 10-2.
You see the little flap about the game time in Detroit?
Was that Buck Showalter?
No.
The Buck thing?
Well, the Red Sox played in Baltimore Wednesday night. They flew to Detroit and had to play a 1 o'clock game on Thursday. I guess the Red Sox asked the Orioles and Tigers to move the game times, and neither would. And there were questions of maybe the Tigers sticking it to Dave Dombrowski, but they've done the Thursday matinee before, and Brad Ausmus said, hey, we asked another team to make a time change and they didn't. It's just part of the deal. Everybody has these situations. And I think the other part of this, I don't know if anybody said it specifically. Ausmus may have. But why would you do the other team a favor?
So you get one in return.
You might.
Yeah, there'd have to be a little quid pro quo there.
Of course, but
yeah, I think if there was a football game, a conflict with a football game was the issue in Detroit.
Yeah, the Lions had a game that night.
I know I saw a clip where Buck Showalter was talking about it, so I thought it impacted his club, but he was talking about the injuries, and he was talking about how he was basically critical of baseball for allowing that to happen. He thinks that the day game after the night game and leads to injuries.
Baez draws the walk. There's something to that, but that's a CBA deal, right? That's an MLB deal. If they allow teams to do it, they're going to do it. Hendricks singled and scored that bizarre run in the third to give the Cubs the lead. Second lead tonight.
Hundley's had a hard time throwing out base stealers this year, but the lefty on the mound might shut down the running game a little bit.
Well, Kyle's done his job at the plate. After a single with one out, he would score on the Rizzo grounder into center. John Tumpain and my partner realized that Kyle missed the plate, but he got it coming back. And whether that'll be the last run tonight or not remains to be seen.
Yeah, there's a story. I don't know. I can't remember if it was in a big league game years ago or if it was in a minor league game. But the story was, there was a play at the plate. Base runner thought he was safe. Ran back to the dugout. Umpire never made a call. Somebody on the pitching team got wise to it, whether it's the pitcher or the dugout, alerted the catcher. So he runs over to the dugout. Meantime, all the players are sitting on the dugout bench, and it must have been a minor league game because he didn't recognize who it was. And he goes down the line and starts tagging guys. And all of a sudden, a player from the far end of the dugout comes darting out of the dugout towards home plate. He ends up getting in a rundown between home plate and the dugout. The absurdity of it all. But
it's great.
Yeah.
Awkward swing by Fowler.
Joe doesn't like to bunt, and I know he especially doesn't like to bunt in a ballpark like this, but this guy's a ground ball pitcher, so that's why he had Hendricks go ahead and put the sacrifice down. Stay out of the double play, give Fowler and Bryant a chance to drive in this run. Kind of funky looking. It almost looked like a balk, like he dropped his foot before he turned.
Baez takes off for third, and he's in. Meantime, 2-2 on Fowler. Stolen base number 10.
Big jump, and with that little hitch he's got in his delivery, and buys Baez even a little more time. Hundley has allowed 41 steals now this year, and he's caught but 6.
That'll bring the infield in. First Cub to double digits in steals this year. Third time he's stolen third. Fowler held 3-2. That could be a big call. Down the right field line, foul ground, and no play for Gonzalez. That will, for now, keep Baez at third. And they get the out at first. I got to tell you, I enjoy the little chess match between Arenado and Baez. Two really smart players. And
yeah, having a little stare down there, and then Baez trying to buy a little time and give Fowler a chance. Arenado's got that clock ticking in his head. He knows he has to make a decision, to make a play somewhere.
So everybody back as Bryant hits. Takes a top of the zone strike. Clarification, Joe Carter had 2 5-hit multi-homer games in 1986 with the Indians, but one of those games was a 5-for-6. So Bryant, the only player ever to have multiple 5-for-5 two-homer games in the same season. Ripped foul.
And there's only a couple of guys that have done it 3 times in a career.
Right. I think
Bob Johnson, maybe?
Yes, he is one. He's a 17th player since 1913 to have 2 of those games in his career. Yeah, so I think 2 guys have done it 3 times. That's it. Pulled that one into left. And Anderson just slammed his glove down to the dirt on the mound as Baez scores. It's 3-1.
That pitcher will do that when you make a great pitch and you still get beat. There's just no beating Chris Bryant these days. Watch where this pitch is. This ball's probably going to bounce.
That was a changeup.
Yeah, and you see where Hundley goes down. He's in block position. And Bryant reaches out and just backhands it into left. I love the reaction by Anderson.
So the last 2 days, Bryant has 7 hits, and he just got picked off. So Anderson, I guess, has the final word, but Bryant does give the Cubs a 2-run lead. We're going to hang on 1 second just to make sure, as Joe might want another look.
Just catches him drifting off the base.
Out.
They got him, yeah. He even uses that funky little egg action when he goes to first. That's a heck of a move.
3-1 Cubs in the 5th. having some fun with a lot of Cub fans in Denver. Cubs looking for their 5th consecutive win. And trying to even up this season series at 2 apiece after the Rockies took 2 of 3 at Wrigley Field in April. Hundley walked in the 2nd. Takes a strike. Eugene Emeralds last night got their 14th consecutive win. That ties the Northwest League record for consecutive wins. And I think they're leading tonight, going for 15 in a row. Curveball bounced. Fouled out of play. Now starting the night with the 2nd best earned run average in the majors.
He was trailing Madison Bumgarner, but he gave up some damage in his last start. Still trails Clayton Kershaw, but in a few days Clayton Kershaw will no longer have enough innings to qualify to be among the league leaders. Something good happened down there. Excited.
Hands over his head. Pitch. Line foul to left. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
On a Thursday, September 1st. Yes, that's right around the corner. The Cubs take on the Giants. First pitch, 7:05. And up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a Cubs cap. Presented by Bona Beef. Tickets are still available for the game. Visit Cubs.com today.
Fouled by Paulson. All right, I have 2 notes about this ballpark that you may not know. Did you know it was the first major league ballpark? It came equipped with an underground heating system.
I did not know that.
To help if they get a big snowfall. Caesar for the 2nd out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And secondly, as they were building this park, they found some dinosaur fossils.
I may have heard that one.
Including a Triceratops skull. And so I guess they briefly considered Jurassic Park as the name of this place. And that's why their mascot is a dinosaur, Dinger.
Now it all makes sense. It's all coming together now.
Wanted to throw his glove at it. Instead, just kind of waved at it.
He was mad at it.
Anderson with a base hit. 3rd this year.
Yeah, he's got a home run. One of his 3. He's just swinging at it with his bare hand. He's swatting at a fly.
to Dahl. He's homered and singled already. He should, I don't know if he has any children, but I think middle name would be Bobblehead. That'd be a good middle name.
I think we're going to go Roald Dahl, the author.
Snap throw out at first. Do not mess with Wilson Contreras. Don't do it.
Lightning quick. Look how quickly he gets in position to make that throw, then snaps it off. Anderson pressing his case for a replay, but I don't think the Rockies are going to challenge.
3-1 Cubs after 5. To impress. I mean, I hate the hyperbole, but is there a better arm back there in the big leagues right now? There's some good ones, but
yeah, I don't know.
And pretty darn accurate.
Yeah, and we've seen him turn it loose from the outfield. He's made a couple throws from the outfield that were really eye-opening.
Rizzo takes ball 1.
Anderson will use his changeup a fair bit to left-handed hitters as well. Some guys don't feel comfortable doing that. And he has shown the ability to throw it down and away to left-handed hitters, which is not easy to do. The fear is that it drifts out over the plate and gets whacked.
Anderson really got it together as a sophomore at Oregon. As a freshman, his ERA was in the 6s. Set the school strikeout record that next year. Broke his own record the year after that. He went from 50th round out of high school to 20th overall in the first round. 3 years later. Golf to left and out of play.
Yeah, they're high on the Hoffman kid they've got coming up to make the start tomorrow. They got 2 or 3 other young arms down in the minor leagues. They feel like they're getting close. We saw Chatwood earlier this year, and he was really good. He's 10-8 this season with a 375.
Mayhew's long way to go get it, and Rizzo beats it out. His second hit.
Anthony a half a step faster at altitude.
The infielder fielded it, but have a hard time really calling that an infield hit, right? He was in shallow right center when he gloved it. And strike on Soler. Dahl way in. Little adjustment at the end. Make sure you follow Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com. Presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. I ran into Vuk the other night walking out of the ballpark.
Was he on your side?
He was. High drive off the bat of Addison Russell. Way out of here. Five to 1.
That was a moonshot. Number 15 for the young shortstop, the All-Star Addison Russell. We talked all year long how he has struggled on the road and against left-handed pitching, but he gets a lefty on the road for number 15. Pretty swing, better result.
So this is his Coors debut. Caesar yanks one foul to left. And almost fell onto the warning track going after that ball. 5-1 here in the 6th. Mayhew off balance throw, and he gets Caesar.
How do you get to Wrigley Field? The Cubs are just taking public transportation. They offer a free bike check. Where's that located? Well, it's now located by the Addison Red Line station. If you drive your car, the Cubs.
You all right?
I'm just cracking myself up. Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games.
You want me to finish? For more information, visit the A to Z guide on Cubs.com.
Oh, my. Thank you. Thank you for finishing that. This Anderson guy is jacked up out there.
I would ask what you had for dessert, but I don't want to know.
Oh.
The other thing about Contreras, just the fact that he has had all this development on this particular team in the big leagues, a team that's 34 over 500 under the big spotlight. Golfed into short center and a base hit. He's going to try for 2, and that's where the rambunctiousness will hurt, but you got to let him do it, right?
Well, he saw the little bobble out there, and he thought, it might take a while for Dahl to recover, so he decided to force the action.
Addison Russell with a 2-run homer, and my partner could not get through a read for the first time with the Cubs, 5-1. To a big leaguer, you usually take it out on your glove or your bat, Gatorade jug, something.
Yeah, but that's if you're going to snap, that's the proper way to snap there. Just throw your glove in it. Don't knock everything over. Don't endanger anybody else in the dugout. Don't pour out everybody else's beverage.
Hey, happy 95th birthday to Rita Knebel. Watches every game in Dubuque, Iowa. Rita, I hope you're able to stay up late with us tonight and enjoy Cubs baseball. Have some laughs at JD's expense.
I wonder if she's related to Corey Knebel.
I believe it's a slightly different spelling.
So probably not likely then.
Or at some point, 100 years ago, the
different factions of Knebels splintered off.
Popped up. Caught by Baez.
Hey fans, let's go. Join the Cubs season ticket holder waiting list today. Claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and it's free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Mayhew's been scorching hot here of late. He's hit into some tough luck tonight. Line out to center first time, and then lined into a double play in the third. He's really the ideal type hitter for this ballpark because it is such a big outfield, and he uses all fields.
0-2. LSU product. Major League debut as a Cub 2011. Gold Glover 2 years ago, an All-Star last year.
Bit of an esoteric statistic, but still worth noting. Kyle Hendricks leads Major League Baseball in soft contact induced. Off speed, movement, catches him out on the front foot.
Stay off the barrel. That one was hit hard, and Bryant caught it.
Hang with him, DJ. 3 bullets, 4 outs. No soft contact here. Rocket, but an out. That was a good look there. You saw Bryant get ready in anticipation of the pitch, up on the balls of his feet, ready to react.
Gonzalez recently had a 19-game hitting streak. Also recently dealt with a left ankle issue. Some thought he might be on the move.
Yeah, his name has come up the last couple of years.
0-2 is high.
Kyle Hendricks, first 3 batters of the game go home run, line out, double, and you're thinking, oh, maybe this isn't going to be his night. Here he is in the 6th, having allowed just that 1 run.
Changeup is fouled. Arenado is on deck. Russell makes a catch, inning over to the 7th, 5-1 Cubs. Been a fun one tonight. Cubs with a 4-run lead as they bat in the 7th. Both starting pitchers still in there, but that will change as Miguel Montero will hit for Hendricks, and there's action in the Cubs bullpen. Travis Wood getting loose. Baez fouls. Cubs have scored at least 3 runs now in 18 consecutive games. Kyle's ERA down slightly to 2.16 after 6 innings of 1-run ball tonight. And Cubs starters now 18 consecutive wins or no decisions. They have not had a starting pitcher lose a game since July 30th. How about that?
Pretty remarkable. And for Kyle, 3 or fewer earned runs allowed in each of his last 16 starts. Now that's going back to May 22nd.
Oh yeah,
you got a topper?
No, not necessarily. Cubs starters now in August. 17 games, 14 quality starts. Baez strikes out. Eight for Anderson, and that brings up the pinch hitter Montero.
Yeah, you know, Anderson, he's on the wrong side of the ledger here tonight. He's allowed 5 runs, but I like the way he pitches. I like his stuff. I like the way he competes.
Shout out to Blake Stern up late watching Cubs baseball tonight. Meantime, the Rockies have not gotten a quality start since August 8th. Arenado does something few guys can do well. How many guys back up like he just did and make that play look that easy? You're not supposed to do that. I mean, he backed up 5, 6 steps.
He started in, read it, and then said, you know what, I'm just going to get back on my heels and get a convenient hop, knowing he had plenty of time with Montero going down the line.
So Kyle Hendricks is going to be the major league ERA leader very shortly. That's Clayton Kershaw is no longer a qualifier.
Yeah, you have to have an inning pitched for every game your team has played. He's thrown 121 innings.
And the Dodgers playing their 121st game tonight.
Yep.
Yep.
Shaw trying to work his way back. He's been out, what, late June?
Yeah, quite a while, and doing a little Dodger work. It's really incredible what they have been able to do here with all the injuries they've had. right now on the DL, Kershaw, Alex Wood, Hyunjin Ryu, Brandon McCarthy. We recently acquired Rich Hill. I haven't even added up how much money those guys make. Those are all starting pitchers.
Yeah, they got Bud Norris, then had to put him on the DL.
I think he came back tonight. Yeah, he took a loss in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they got thumped pretty good tonight by the Reds.
Brett Anderson missing much of the year.
Giants are winning their game, but the Giants have the worst record in baseball since the All-Star break. And that's allowed the Dodgers to move into first place despite all that bad luck.
Now, someone may say, yeah, guys, but they spent so much money. They've been able to kind of overcome some of those things. Yeah, you're right. They went out and they got Josh Reddick. They acquired Hill, who was on the DL. But I'd have to say Dave Roberts is a definite contender for that Manager of the Year award, considering what the Dodgers have accomplished without Kershaw. Arenado fires a strike over to first. Inning over. Stretch time. 5-1 Cubs. Rockies in the middle game of this series from the Mile High City. We'll have the first pitch for you at 7 o'clock Central Time right here on CSN Chicago. Mike Montgomery gets the start. John Lackey's place.
Here comes Travis, 61st time. For the veteran left-hander, 3-0, ERA 2.96. Not a typical Kyle Hendricks outing here tonight. Typical in that he didn't give up much, but not much on the ground tonight for Kyle. Usually a busy night on the ground for the middle infielders. It was quiet for them with Kyle out there this evening.
Arenado well decorated early on in his career. All-star for the second consecutive year. He's led the National League in homers and RBIs last year and currently this year, tied for the lead in homers. Gold Glover all 3 years of his career. Down by Travis. We talked a lot about Todd Helton, Larry Walker, Andres Galarraga, the greats, and Rockies history. Tulowitzki can certainly apply. And I'm just thinking from a purely individual, selfish is the wrong word, but you come here as an offensive player, you're going to put up big numbers, right? So you think a lot of guys would want to play here. Great city to live. But you also know, if you're Nolan Arenado, you spend your entire career here. You could have Hall of Fame numbers, and there are going to be people who are going to say, well, but
yeah, I'm one of them.
He spent his whole year or his whole career there.
Yeah, and I'm one of them. Until the guy that shows me he can perform at a level, maybe not you don't have to be as good on the road as you are here.
How could you be?
But you have to be. I mean, some of these guys over their careers, they hit 310 here and 245 on the road.
And again, not that Nolan Arenado or Todd Helton would ever say, well, I'm a Hall of Fame player, so I need to go somewhere else to do what I do. But see, for me, the thing with Arenado that separates him, and Helton was a really good defender, but Arenado is like best defender in the league at any position good, right? Arguably. Popped up by Parra. It is just a really fascinating thing because it is so different here than everywhere else.
Yeah, and that's why some of the advanced stats now, where they do all the park adjusted formulas, help give the baseball fan a better grasp on these guys, and likewise their pitchers. So you see a guy who. That's why I was looking. Chatwood here has got a 3.75 ERA. Any pitcher who pitches their home games in this ballpark and has it's 3.75 is doing great work.
Descalso with a 2-out double. You do not have to give me a definitive answer, but what does your gut tell you about Todd Helton?
Well, I'm just looking at his numbers right now.
I'd say to me, I think he's a Hall of Fame.
He's 332 lifetime here at home, 285 on the road. Counting numbers don't work in his favor.
Lost a lot of his power late. All right, so his slash line 316, 414, 539. Without Coors Field, that's a absolute no-brainer. But he's got a couple of
career hits.
A couple of years before he'll be eligible.
2,519.
2,519.
Falls short of the magic 3,000 hits.
592 doubles, 369 home runs. He walked more than he struck out as a first baseman. By a pretty wide margin. Ground ball, backhanded by Bryant as he leaves his feet. And Rizzo can't handle the throw. It bounces out of play. Descalso scores. It's 5-2.
Great glove work And a great reaction play by Bryant, but the throw presenting Rizzo with a very difficult in between hop.
Is an error on Bryant.
Anthony had it to do all over again. He would have focused mostly on just trying to knock that ball down. Maybe prevented Descalso from scoring.
Ryan Rayburn will bat for Paulson. Outside, ball one.
9 out of 34 as a pinch hitter with 3 home runs for Rayburn.
So the Cubs acquiring Aroldis Chapman, but the 2 main setup guys are on the DL now, Strop and Rondon. So some other guys out in that bullpen, more responsibility as a result.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Joe plays it here tonight. I know he's trying to stay away from Grimm. Wants to give Edwards another day if he can.
Down by Contreras.
Outstanding work in the pinch for Rayburn.
Cubs trying to hold a 13-game lead. Cardinals won in extras earlier. Pirates lost 6-5 to the Marlins to snap Pittsburgh's 4-game win streak. Marlins had dropped 3 in a row, all in Cincinnati prior to tonight. Three-two, popped up. Rizzo chasing after it, and no play.
Taking some time to measure the ledge while he's over there, just in case.
This one looks a little trickier to me than the one at Wrigley.
It's got a little slant to it.
Yeah, that would
be a good idea not to climb up on that one, Anthony.
Swing and a miss. And the inning is over. They get an unearned run. It's 5-2 after 7. Home runs. Dexter Fowler, third pitch of the ball game. Gave the Cubs a quick lead. And then later, Addison Russell extending the Cubs lead with a 2-run shot. Abraham stays in, plays first after adding for Paulson. And right-hander Jordan Lyles, we've seen him in the past as a starter.
Well, part of what is, at least for tonight, a 9-man bullpen for the Rockies. Lyles 3-4 ERA, approaching 6. Fastball, slider, curve, and change. When he first came up with the Astros, fastball, curveball, change up and a little cutter. He's backed off the curveball some. Perhaps because he pitches here and it's just tougher to get the good action on that pitch. Tougher to command here at altitude.
One on Bryant. Two for 3 tonight. Last 2 days, 7 out of 8.
Lyles debuted with the Astros in 2011. He's still only 25 years of age.
If we go back to Wednesday, let's see, what did Chris do? Let's see, made a couple of outs his last 2 at bats. Okay, so yes, 7 for his last 8. Fouled to make it 3-2. 43,950 paid crowd tonight. Not everybody has stayed for the duration after a 2-hour 10-minute rain delay, and it is pretty cold. 48 degrees currently. Broken bat, base hit. 3 for 4.
He's just on one of those rolls. He hasn't hit the ball hard tonight. You know, contrast his night with LeMahieu, who's been squaring it up all night long. He's got nothing to show for it. Chris is off the end of the bat. This time it's a crack bat. But again, and Joe talks about it all the time, move the baseball, put it in play, especially in this big yard.
That hit gets Bryant to 300 right on the button for the year. So he went into yesterday. .289. How about an everyday player in late August to go from 289 to 300?
Pretty big jump
in 2 days. You know how you do that? You go 8 for 9. Known as Brizzo. And you see the 3 columns there on the right, those are rankings. And wins above replacement. How about the Erstad Gloss combo 2000. Back 3-ball counts to start this 8th inning. Carl Edwards Jr. is up. Can't get it, but LeMahieu does, and they'll get the out.
For a minute, like it was going to be able to get into right field for another hit for Rizzo, but a nice play by LeMahieu, who was well positioned to begin with.
Bryant at second, and now Soler, who has struck out twice and flied to center. Fastball almost hit him. The Eugene Emeralds got their 15th straight win. That is a new Northwest League record. Broke their own record set a few years ago before they were a Cubs affiliate. One and two. Just to double back to the Todd Helton conversation, my gut tells me he's going to have a very tough time getting into the Hall of Fame. I'd put way more people in the Hall than are currently in the Hall, so don't take my opinion, I'd put him in, but you're not so sure either, right?
I don't think he'll get in.
Hall of very good.
Oh, absolutely. And no doubt better than some that are already in. Maybe that's what they should do. Get some bubble guys.
Take them out.
Take them out. Okay.
That's
You've had your run. You're out.
We got him. How about when you put new guys in, you have to take that number of guys out? We are cruel.
Yeah. Sorry. Fire marshal won't let any more in. We have to get some people out of here before we'll let you go. Follow Cubs baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
So they give a Hall of Fame candidate one of those thingies you get at a nice restaurant.
Little buzzer.
Little buzzer, and they say current wait's about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. We'll buzz you when it's time.
We'll buzz you when your table in Cooperstown is ready.
Helton, party of one.
One and one on Russell. He homered his last time up. By Arenado. The Gold Glover takes away a hit and a run. Still 5-2 late. Christian Adames announced as the pinch hitter. Travis Wood gave up an unearned run in the 7th. Back out here in the 8th. Adames, a switch hitter.
Interesting. He hasn't been particularly good from either side. He's hitting a .185, 190 as a right-handed batter, 183 from the left side. But he's been good in the pinch.
Oh, you were just going to say, but he was good in that swing.
He's 12 out of 45 now as a pinch hitter. talk about how hard that job is, but he's better off the bench than otherwise.
Dahl, leadoff homer in the first, single in the third, infield pop in the sixth.
See another scenario where Woody is in there for Dahl and Gonzalez, but he's playing the outfield for LeMahieu.
LeMahieu's thinking, I'm going to break my bat like Bryant did. So maybe that'll be the trick. Fouled away. Montgomery and Hoffman tomorrow night. Sunday afternoon, Hamill, the former Rocky, and De La Rosa, Jorge, lefty. Outside.
Having a good competitive at bat here against the left-hander.
Ready for 3-2. And walked him, and a tying run. Heading to the plate, and Joe walks to John Tumpain, the home plate umpire.
Calling for Edwards.
Time for the Hyundai pitching change. We'll be back in a moment. part of a double switch. He'll play right. And the Hyundai call to the pin brings on the hard-throwing right-hander Carl Edwards Jr.
Carl 0-1 with a 343 earned run average, a big chunk of that. Matter of fact, 5 runs came in his appearance, 2 appearances ago against the Cardinals. And that was the one loss you see on his record. So he's allowed 8 earned runs this year, 5 of them coming in that one outing. And then a couple days ago, he bounced back nicely against the Brewers, an inning and a third of scoreless ball.
Do we assume a little later on Charlie Blackmon's not available? He got scratched with a contusion on his big toe on the right foot. Maybe the hottest hitter in baseball. It's not an issue here in this part of the order with LeMahieu, Gonzalez, and Arenado due. 2 on, nobody out in the 8th. The 0-1. Now 1-1. Single by Adames to start the inning. Dahl walked. And the 1-1 to LeMahieu is fouled out of play to right.
Yeah, I'm assuming the injury to Blackmon isn't that severe because he was in the starting lineup originally. So I'm guessing he is available. And had Edwards started this inning, maybe he would have gotten the call instead of Adames to take that at bat.
Contreras wanted that pitch off the outside corner, and it was way inside. 2-2. That is what you call a 2-strike swing.
Good short stroke, a high average hitter, trying to battle to stay in the at bat. Contreras is pounding his mitt with the rhythmic clapping of the fans here.
It's fun to watch. Deflects off the glove of Bryant. Adames will score. And I think we had a fan touch it. Yep, fan picked it up. So it'll be second and third with nobody out. And a 5-3 ball game.
Mayhew hits the ball hard yet again. So all 4 times tonight he's been right on it, and Bryant almost makes a play on him. Instead, off the glove it goes.
So trouble here.
Ball probably scores if they leave that ball alone.
Cubs play the infield back. They need an out. To the shortstop, Russell. Both runners will advance. That could be big. So it's a 5-4 game. Gonzalez gets an RBI as Dahl scores. LeMahieu's now at third with 1 out for Arenado.
It's a little bit of a tricky hop to contend with. Able to make the play, get a very important out. But yeah, that's a doubly productive out for Gonzalez. Gets one home and moves LeMahieu to third base for the RBI leader.
Infield in. 1-run lead. Bottom 8. Those runs charged to Travis Wood. The pitch. In on the hands of Arenado. Inside again. Well, if the goal was to make Arenado uncomfortable, I think mission accomplished. These first 2 pitches. In the air, Caesar coming on. The tag, the throw. Out at the plate. LeMahieu's convinced he was safe. And I thought he was, but Tom Payne called him out.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to beat that throw. We'll take a look at it here. Caesar gets a lot behind this throw, has a lot of momentum coming into that catch. He's going to be safe.
Yeah, looks like we're going to have a tie ball game. And you know, that's a good job by LeMahieu to do something not a lot of runners do, JD, and that is slide directly into home plate.
Yeah, a lot of guys try to take that backdoor route and slap the plate, and it buys a little more time for the catcher to make a sweep tag.
So Foresight Technology replay review. If they reverse it, Arenado will get his 98 RBI. Good throw by Caesar.
Contreras taking that left leg and trying to push LeMahieu off the plate. Really puts himself in harm's way there. But once you rotate that knee the way he did, rotate his foot, it really puts you in a vulnerable position. If he takes a big hit to that leg, he could really do some serious damage to that knee. Thankfully, he came out of it no issues. Catchers are taught when blocking the plate to put their foot pointing right down the third baseline. So when that slide, when that base runner comes in and hits him, the call is going to be safe at home. The leg bends like it naturally would bend when it takes the hit. Once you open up, as he does, you're in a very vulnerable position.
So we are tied as Rockies have scored 4 times over the last 2 innings against the Cubs bullpen. Kyle Hendricks will get a no decision. 2 outs, nobody on. 3 runs in for the Rockies.
And you said it earlier, you never have too many runs in this ballpark.
Matt Caesar can't get a break. The one call they got right was the one that went against him. Remember his slide the other day? We thought he was clearly safe, and for whatever reason they did not call it that way.
Cubs bullpen obviously a little vulnerable right now with no Strop, no Rondon. But silver lining, getting some guys some experience in some high leverage situations may prove to be very valuable down the road.
Snagged by Edwards, and the inning is over, but the damage done to the ninth, 5-5. Depot, we're going to give it to Kyle Hendricks. 6 solid innings, gave up just 1 run.
Yeah, he gave up a leadoff home run to the rookie Dahl, and after that, nada. 4 hits, 1 run. He walked 1, struck out 3. Anytime you come into this ballpark, pitch 6 innings and give up 1, you are worthy of recognition. Now, Adam Ottavino.
A reminder, Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
Number 0, or number O. Ottavino missed almost all of last year and a good chunk of this year, recovering from elbow surgery. He was taken over as the closer. That was rookie Estevez just sent out today that throws 100 miles an hour. But he'd been struggling. They want to protect him a little bit.
Got 3rd closer this year, Jake McGee. And he got hurt. Then Estevez now. Ottavino.
Yeah, he's got that big sweeping slide ball.
1 strike on Matt Caesar. Major crossfire action. LeMahieu near the bag at second. That ball handcuffed Rayburn, but they get the out. Now Contreras. "35 games, 29 2/3 scoreless innings." That's the longest streak actively in the major leagues. Ottavino has not allowed a run since September 7th, 2014. But as you mentioned, a lot of injuries.
Contreras trying to test the Gold Glover Arenado. 19 appearances this year, 15 innings. Last year appeared in 10 games, 10 in the 3rd.
Should have said a lot of injury time with the Tommy John. So he's due to give up a run.
Looks like he'd be a nightmare for right-handed hitters.
Might be the thin air affecting me, but I have a feeling he would look more natural left-handed with his motion.
He's a left-hander trapped in a right-hander's body.
Yes. Contreras with a humpback liner to left, caught by Parra. Two outs, it's Baez. Mariners just beat the Brewers 7-6, the final in Seattle. With former Seattle Pilots returning home.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. The Brewers were born in Seattle. They were the Pilots for a year.
Barely a blip on the radar for Jim Bouton book ball 4. It would have been almost totally forgotten, right? There's the guy we're not sure about in terms of his availability. Blackman. Baez got hit by that pitch. Keep the inning alive.
They're going to try to throw him that sweeping slider. Just didn't get through the pitch. Take the break, so to speak. Not sure what Rayburn was thinking, but he was acting as if he was going to play behind Baez.
Zobrist with his first plate appearance just came in as part of a double switch.
I would think at some point here Javi would be looking to run.
A dueling "Let's go Cubbies, let's go Rockies" chant.
He's playing very deep in the outfield, and there are no doubles deployment. But still, because there is so much real estate to cover out there, still a good chance of Zobrist hitting it hard. He could split that gap. Obviously, plenty of room down the lines.
Ground ball, and Rayburn. A little goalie block, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-5. extra innings in a major league debut. Right-hander Felix Pena just joining the club.
Yeah, how about that? Big opportunity for Pena. Obviously a high-pressure situation for a guy making his major league debut. You look at his numbers from AAA Iowa. The strikeouts certainly get your attention. 81 punch-outs in 63 and a third innings of work. Tough to hit. Batting average of .203 against. Kind of that good look about him. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Descalso with a double and a run in the 7th. He is 1 for 3. Hundley and then Rayburn through for the Rockies in the bottom of the 9th.
Got a good arm. He can light up the gun.
Well, we saw him a bit in spring training. Stuff definitely stood out.
Don't forget to breathe.
Contreras should be familiar with him. Their time in the minor leagues together. 2-1.
Somewhat surprised to see Descalso swing there. Guy making his big league debut. You know he's dealing with a lot of nerves. 2-0 in the count. Would have been ball 3 in all likelihood.
Foul to left. It's raining again. Not very hard. He went, and Pena's got his first major league strikeout.
Might have caught a break.
Yeah, I'm not sure he went, but you'll take it.
Absolutely. That's good enough. Yeah.
Good call, Jeff Kellogg. Hundley has reached twice on a walk and an error. Other time he struck out. Ground ball to Rizzo. Good scoop on a hard hit roller. Ryan Rayburn, pinch hit in the 7th, now playing first. 8 seasons in the Cubs system for Pena, starting in 2009. We have our answer, we think. Charlie Blackmon is on deck. Oh, and 2. Close, didn't get it. Struck him out. Pena 1, 2, 3 in a 9th inning 5-5 tie, and that'll send the game to extras. Nicely done, young man. Presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. 10th inning. Cubs 5-3 in extras. Rockies 0-3. Right-hander Scott Oberg here in the 10th. Xfinity high-speed action. We go back to last year. Final game of a series against the Rockies. They were down in the 9th. Fowler won it with a 2-run homer. He made his major league debut as a Rocky 2008. And he leads off the 10th. He led off the game with a home run tonight from the right side.
5.26 ERA for Oberg in 23 appearances. He pitched 27 times with their AAA club. 2.43 ERA there. He's got a wide assortment of offerings for a bullpenner. Fastball, curve, slider, change.
(3-0). Hundley thought it was a strike. The pitch. Ball 4. That will start the 10th. Here comes Chris Bryant. 3 more hits tonight.
Oberg in a bit of a bind just like that with the leadoff walk to Fowler. Can't afford to walk Bryant. Push the go-ahead run into scoring position. Doesn't want to throw him a cookie.
Aroldis Chapman is on the right. Rob Zastrinski is on the left. We might see a couple of major league debuts tonight. We'll see. Raining a little bit harder now as Oberg checks on Fowler. Five consecutive misses to start the inning. Make it 6. 2-0. So Oberg can't find the strike zone. So normally this is a automatic 3-0 green light. Is this the one exception where you take it?
Well, I think Chris probably will anyway, whether he's got the green light or not.
And when I say automatic green light, I don't mean you swing 3-0. You swing if you get your pitch.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, as he looks around the field, there is nobody between first and second. You've got Rayburn holding on Fowler, and everybody else is over on the other side of second. Yep. If you're swinging 3-0, that's the kind of pitch you offer at for sure.
Oberg has one save. He picked it up the other day in their 12-9 win over the Nationals.
Ground ball to third. Arenado to LeMahieu. They'll only get one. Walt Weiss is going to make a pitching change. Tenth inning, runner at first, one out. 5-5 tie. We'll be back. Hyundai call to the pen. Veteran southpaw Boone Logan.
2-2 with a 270 for Logan. 42 punches and 36 2/3. Left-handed batters. Not done much against them. They have right-handers for that matter. Fastballs and sliders. He throws the slider more than any other pitch. Big guy, 6'5", 215.
One was up, but it was a breaking ball, and it's a strike. Bryant is the runner at first. He just hit into a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss. Fastball that time.
Again,
0-2.
Again, Rockies outfield is very deep, and what that does, it allows Chris Bryant to go first to third on a ball hit, to center field, maybe one towards left center that he normally wouldn't be able to go first to third on. That's another one of the advantages for the offense in this ballpark. So much ground to cover. Guys have to run further to get to base hits, and extra bases can be taken. And Bryant, one of the better base runners in the game.
Got him. On the slider. David Ross off the bench. Or Pena. It's very possible we could see both relief pitchers added to the roster make their major league debuts tonight. If the Cubs don't get the lead here, I would assume it would be Zastryzny. The Cubs can take the lead if Ross can get something done here. Russell on deck and a 2-0 count. Broken bat, flare for a base hit, and it will bring up Russell with 2 men on. Earlier, towering 2-run homer off the starter Anderson. Well, that 2012 draft's kind of fun. David Dahl was taken 10th overall by the Rockies. Addison Russell went right after him, number 11. Albert Almora went number 6 to the Cubs. A strike. Corey Seager went 18th to the Dodgers. Tyler Naquin, we mentioned him earlier tonight, number 15 to the Indians. Carlos Correa was the top pick in that draft.
Rockies outfielder's not as deep now, where a base hit gives the Cubs the lead.
One and two. And thankfully, the defense does not have a choice in terms of where the base runners are, because the Rockies would definitely flip-flop Bryant and Ross if they could. Anything to the outfield should pretty easily score Bryant. Logan's 2-2. Cubs strand 2. 5-5 midway in the 10th. long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Speaking of drafts, the Cubs' second-round pick 2013, after they took Chris Bryant in the first round, was a left-hander named Rob Zastryzny. Not easy to pronounce, but here he is. Major league debut, the first Cub pitcher drafted under the current regime to make his big league debut.
Second-round pick in 2013 out of the University of Missouri. Born in Canada, but just a little guy, baby, and moved to Corpus Christi, Texas. So his numbers there combined at AA and AAA this year.
Most of his minor league career as a starter, 5 relief appearances over these first 4 pro seasons. And here is Charlie Blackmon off the bench, and it is starting to really come down now in terms of the rain. We play on.
Yeah, left-handed hitters hitting just 190 against Rob down in the minor leagues this year. Blackmon has power. He also has speed.
To say he's hot at the plate would be an understatement. 12-game hitting streak, 481 with 9 home runs.
Cutter at the knees, good pitch. How about Felix Pena in his major league debut? 3 up, 3 down with a couple of punch outs.
The Z-Man on a 1-1. Fouled back.
Be on that baseball spelling bee with Samardzija, Nieuwenhuis, and Kaczynski.
Sometimes goof on Harry doing the name backwards. Well, in Zastryzny's case, it might be easier backwards. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Sneaky cheese upstairs.
Contreras asks for the ball. Really? It's the Z to the S to the Z in pretty quick order. That is tough with the surname. Ball 1 to Dahl.
Yeah, we'll put Caesar on that spelling bee team too.
Zaz with a 1-0 ground ball to Baez. We'll just keep coming up with new nicknames for him. 2 outs. LeMahieu, RBI double in the 8th, scored the tying run. On a very close play at the plate. He was originally called out. On replay review, it was overturned. Ball 1.
The way he's going about it, not wasting any time between pitches. Nice.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Taking a shot upstairs, change the eye level.
And under the glove of Rizzo into right. A 2-out knock. get Gonzalez to the plate.
It's the 5th time tonight LeMahieu's hit the ball hard. First 3 times he lined out. Last time double. This time base hit past Rizzo. Mayhew has 9 steals, but he's been caught 6 times.
Overtime.
Already got 2 hours.
Yeah. Woo!
Pitch is a little high, ball 1.
I think he'll be looking to run here, unless Gonzalez were to fall into a defensive count. Z-Man would be well served to focus his attention on the guy in the box.
Spazio heading out. His name does not have a Z in it, even though it sounds like it.
Do you think minor league pitchers practice talking into their gloves so they're ready when they get to the big leagues?
Well, they should. 2-0 on a dangerous batter. That just went flying out of his hands.
There's your danger.
Wasn't the kind of danger I was thinking of.
Takes a big swing, a little bit behind it, and the bat goes flying. Fortunately, into an empty seat. Pretty cool. I'm going to get to keep this bat.
Your head on a swivel, Jimmy.
Up the middle. Knocked down Russell. Safe. Everybody safe.
Russell was right there, positioned to make a play on this ball. It's been close to automatic for a long stretch of time now.
Calling that a hit, and it is. Arenado, sac fly to tie it in the 8th. He's got 98 runs batted in. Pitch outside for a ball. You do have a base open here. base is third, but left-handed hitting Gerardo Parra is on deck. Winning run at second, LeMahieu.
Yeah, well, I don't know where Contreras is going here unless they're just.
I don't think they're going to give him. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not where.
Yeah, I don't know if the message from the dugout is to pitch around him. They probably should just put him on. If they're going to try to get him out, Wilson shouldn't be setting up so far off the plate. To a pitcher's eye, when the guy's that far off the plate, it's very difficult to make a competitive pitch.
I want to see that last pitch again, and Arenado's reaction, because that pitch didn't look like it was even on the inside part of the plate. It's almost like he knew Contreras was set up way outside and was surprised at the location. Watch Arenado's reaction. That pitch almost right down the middle. He kind of gave it that, like he was shocked. Maybe after that first pitch, he was thinking that they're not going to throw me anything here. Missed his spot again. 2-1. Three and one.
Understandable that you wouldn't want to challenge Arenado. It's a difficult position to put a guy making his big league debut in, or a walk could cost you the ball game.
That was a bizarre sequence. So they're loaded, and it is Parra.
And that's, it's a pick your poison kind of situation, right? So you face a left-handed hitter with the bases loaded, or face the league RBI leader with an open base.
Swing and a miss.
Rob's family made it here in time for this ball game. If they're watching at home somewhere, anxious moments, folks. Hang in there.
Pitch, ground ball, Rizzo backhands. Zastryzny at the bag. Nobody beats Zastriz.
Where's Zastriz? That's all there is.
We go to the 11th. 5-5.
Top half of the 11th. We are knotted up at 5. Matt Caracity is pitcher number 6 for the Rockies. He's been in 3 ball games at the big league level. Down at AAA, 6 appearances. At AA, 38 appearances. He had not pitched above A ball prior to this season. So a whirlwind year for the young right-hander.
Anderson, Lyles, Ottavino, Oberg, Logan, and now Caracity.
Club hitters can expect to see fastballs and split fingers.
Fouled away by Matt Caesar.
City, 6th round pick, 2012. Arenado even with the bag and in a little bit.
Coming on, Parra. He's got it. He's a 2-time Gold Glover. That is a great catch.
Sometimes a difficult read, a ball like that. Parra, an outstanding defender, makes the diving catch.
Contreras. Still raining, but not quite as hard as in the 10th inning. Two and 0. Big leg kick and the pitch. He went. Two and 1.
City played his college ball at St. John's University. And a 196 ERA this year down at AA, AAA.
Three one, hit hard on the ground and in the left. Bring up Baez with a man on and 1 out.
Second hit of the night for Contreras. Had a little loop single earlier, this time solid base hit.
Kurt Morrison and Ralph Thomas are watching in Nashville. Hoping the Cubs can pull this one out here in extras.
The other thing about Contreras, he's such a good athlete. Certainly not a base clogger. For a catcher, he can really move.
Oh, 1. One ball, one strike. 5-5 in the 11th. Line foul to right. Having a little graphics issue, as you can tell, it's very graphic, and that's why we're working on it.
Really too late for graphics. You get cozy under the bumper chute.
There it is. It's fixed. Got him. 2 outs. It'll bring up Ben Zobrist.
Fair City, the 5th reliever to work tonight. There's still 4 guys available in the Rockies bullpen. They had an off day yesterday, so Rockies pen better positioned for a long extra inning affair.
Yeah, the good news for the Cubs is they got those 2 kids in there to make their big league debut, and both were impressive. You are walking a fine line tonight. Not ideal to have extras with the current state of the pen. And you got Mike Montgomery tomorrow. Don't know how much he's going to give you. We'd like to avoid using, Trevor Cahill tonight.
Yeah, well, Cahill. He had 3 days off since his start through 80-some pitches.
Tuesday, so Wednesday, 2 days off, really. Although it's Saturday, so it's 3.
All of a sudden, he's available.
Right. Trevor, you're available once we hit midnight. Three and 0 on Zobrist. Ball 4. 2 on for Fowler. Time for the Cubs' upcoming game schedule, brought to you by PNC. Later tonight, we're here on CSN for Game 2. Late afternoon start Chicago time on Sunday on ABC 7, and then Monday night, Tuesday night, late night action, Cubs and the Pods from San Diego. Dexter Fowler. The pitch off the inside.
Hey, we're not the only ones still playing.
Right, long delay in Kansas City, right?
They're in the bottom of the ninth, tied 4-4. And the Diamondbacks and the Padres are 4-4, top of the 10th.
Shallow center base hit. Cubs lead. Contreras scores 6-5. And the Z-Man could get a win.
Elevated fastball, a little pop flare. We talked all night long about this big, expansive outfield, how much open real estate there is out there, and Fowler drops a little lob wedge into shallow center field for the go-ahead RBI.
Steve Foster, the pitching coach, out to the mound.
Foster probably out there to deliver the message to the young right-hander. Look, stay engaged. Don't get too frustrated. You still have a fighting chance, but you make a mistake to this guy, and it's going to be all she wrote.
Chris Bryant takes low in the dirt. So it will be Aroldis Chapman in the bottom of this inning. Two and 0.
Descalso, Hundley, Rayburn due for the Rockies in the bottom of the inning.
Right field, pretty well hit, but this will be caught by Cargo, and we'll go to the bottom of the 11th. Dexter Fowler gives the Cubs the lead, 6-5. Facing the Rockies for the third time this year. He faced them twice as a Yankee earlier this season. He did give up a run in an inning here on June 15th. And he is trying to notch the save. And This would be a special one because it would be for Rob Zastryzny. In his major league debut, he could get the win.
I'll be able to leave the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 10th. Looking on anxiously. Chapman going to bring a little heat on this cold night.
Daniel Descalso to lead off. The rain has stopped. And now there's a bird. He's trying to get out of the area and finally has flown away. I think that's why John Champagne walked out there, to make sure our feathered friend was able to move on safely.
Fluttering up in the way of a Chapman fastball. It would not end well for the bird.
No. Ball one is outside. Ground ball. Bryant's got it. That's one. Hundley. No relation to Randy and Todd. But all catchers. So I guess there is kind of a relation there, right?
The brotherhood. Brotherhood of squatters.
The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lined in the right for a base hit. Single for Hundley.
His first hit of the night. That's the right approach there. He's real quiet with the lower body, just throwing his hands at the ball, just trying to be quick, short path to the ball.
Rayburn 0 for 2 strikeouts since he came on in the 7th as a pinch hitter. Hasn't thrown him a fastball yet.
Bury it.
He did. Tony Wolters is on deck. Left-handed batter. Last guy off their bench. Ooh, it almost got away from Contreras. 101 on the gun. Has the sign. There it comes. On the move, Zobrist. He's going to have to play it off the wall. Hundley's going to be sent around third. Relay by Baez to the plate. We're tied. And the throw goes out of play. And Rayburn now at third.
I think he scores.
Is he going to score? Yeah. He does.
Yeah.
And the game is over. Rockies win 7-6. Joe Madden talking with all 4 umpires.
Replay it.
Now they got to figure out where Hundley was.
Yeah.
When the ball went out of play.
When the throw was made, right? He was at second base. So he's going to get home here. I'm pretty sure. So
when Baez made the throw, the question is, was Hundley past second? You get 2 bases. And there's no question. I don't think. Yep.
It's the back runner here.
Back runner,
yeah,
yes.
So he's round to the back bases. That throw is being made. It's worth it for Joe to take a look.
Right. It's Rayburn. Yep. So that's it. Crazy night. And the Rockies pull off a stunner.
Yeah, how unlikely that kind of damage together against Chapman.